Political cost of Penny's hesitation, an Express editorial. The Fourth Estate finally takes Penny Week Beckles to task and holds her accountable for the Janelle John Bates disaster. But notice how the Fourth Estate did not do an editorial on Faris Al-Rawi being removed as well. Why is that? Opposition leader Penelope Week Beckles has passed the point of political returns on the Janelle John Bates issue. It is now just over 5 weeks since the discovery in the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, PAC, of Parliament on April 13 that John Bates' name, along with opposition Senator Faris Al-Rawi's, was on track changes of a memorandum from Terence Deyalsingh, the former health minister, who was to appear before the committee that John Bates was sitting on. It took another 16 days for John Bates to offer her resignation to the PNM political leader, and since then the matter has been hanging fire. The question engaging the public has now become not so much whether John Bates did anything wrong, but why it is taking so long for Ms. Beckles to decide whether to accept her resignation or not. As a matter of parliamentary standards, the issue is straightforward. An official cannot ethically assist a witness with testimony that the official has to give feedback on. But Beckles' challenge is not to determine the ethics of the transgression, but the politics of it. Had she acted immediately when John Bates' help to Deyalsingh became known and removed her as an opposition senator, Beckles would have been praised for adhering to the highest standards of integrity. However, for the PNM leader and her team, the overriding issue is not public praise, but whether that decision would translate into votes in the next general election. And Beckles' problem is that before she can even consider winning national votes, she has to get back the votes of the PNM faithful who stayed away in droves in the 2025 general election. Beckles herself all too well knows the cost of traditional supporters not coming out. In her Arima seat, according to figures from the Elections and Boundaries Commission, the voter turnout on April 28 last year was just 49.1%, and Beckles won with 49.7% of votes cast, only 699 more than her closest rival. However, on June 22, for the PNM's internal election, her slate won all 41 constituencies, and she was elected unopposed as the party's political leader. Yet that supposedly firm grip on the party's leadership makes Beckles' current hesitation all the more curious. Politically, she would be considering the following questions. 1. Would removing John Bates help or harm cohesion among the PNM rank and file? 2. If John Bates is removed, does that create another problem among the PNM leadership if Al-Rawi is also removed because of his involvement as an opposition senator in the Deyalsingh memorandum? 3. Will claiming to adhere to principles of integrity make a difference to PNM supporters? This last point is now moot for the floating voters in the marginal seats on whom electoral victory depends and most of the national electorate, whose public outrage on corruption and other ethical issues isn't always reflected in the general election voting patterns. Nonetheless, whatever Beckles decides, she will now face a stern public relations challenge explaining why she took so long.